Okay, so now let us learn how we can start and stop the Jboss services, okay, in the standalone mode and in the domain mode. Okay, so for the zip installation, as I said, the very first thing you need to create a user, management user, to access your admin console, or you can say the management interface, right? So for that we have a script called add user in the bin directory, okay, that we run to create the user. So very first thing, if you have installed using the zip installer, which mostly we use, okay, so you need to add a user. Okay, so once the user is added, okay, we use the script which is called standalone.sh to start the server in the standalone mode, right? And as I have explained in the previous multiple sessions, okay, we have a different kind of a profiles based on the features that you would like to use in the Jboss instance. So we need to specify a particular profile during the startup. Okay, and the option to specify the profile during startup, you can use the hyphen server hyphen config command. Okay, so with this option, we can specify the name of the particular profile file by which we are going to start our server. Okay, so if you start only using the standalone.sh without specifying any of the profile, okay, so it is going to utilize the default profile which is standalone.xml. Okay, this is the default one. And if you want to start with some different profiles, then you need to specify in the command line. So standalone.sh and then hyphen server hyphen config and then the particular XML file name, corresponding profile name, right? So this is the way how we start our standalone server. So now I will quickly go to the installation location. So we have done three different installation, right? This is using the graphical user interface, and then we have done the installation using the installation manager and the zip profile as well. So I will go inside Jboss EAP. Okay, so here let me go inside the bin directory. Okay, so now inside the bin directory, okay, we have a different scripts are there, right? So standalone.sh, this is the script that we use to start the server in the standalone mode. Okay, if you are on a Windows machine, so you will have a corresponding bat file. This we use to start the services on the Windows machine, right? So if I start like this one, only this one, okay, if I do not specify any XML file, then it is going to start with the default profile, which is the standalone.xml. Okay, and let me show you the profiles as well. So go to standalone and then configurations. Okay, so here we can see we have different profiles, right? So if I start only the command standalone.sh without specifying any profile name, it is going to utilize standalone.xml, right? Otherwise, you can specify any of the corresponding profile for startup. So if I show you the configuration of this file, which is this is the default profile, standalone.sh, okay. So here we have a multiple configurations that we are going to see in the subsequent sessions because we have to do a multiple configuration changes here based on what kind of a features that we are going to use in the Jboss. Okay, so there are multiple options are there. Okay, so very first thing when you are going to start the service before that one, okay, you need to bind your Jboss instance to the IP address of the machine. Okay, so by default, if I show you here, okay, let me show you with the VI only. Okay, so if I search for 127.0.0.1, which is the default IP address, loopback address of your machine, right? Localhost and then 127.0.1. So by default, it bind on the address 127.0.0.1. Okay, so this is good for your Windows machine. If you are installing on the Windows machine, then it is good. Okay, you can access your admin console on the browser with the help of localhost only. Okay, but if you are installing it on some of the Linux-based machines, specifically on the cloud, then you need to change this IP address with the actual IP address. Otherwise, you will not able to access the graphical user interface from the browser, right? So what I need to do here, I need to change this 127.0.0.1 with the actual IP address of my machine. And what is the actual IP address? So this is my EC2 machine and this is the public private IP of my machine, right? So I need to take this private IP and I need to replace okay, one comma dollar s. So this is the command to replace the one string with completely with the other string. So 127.0.0.1. So this I am going to replace with my IP address. Okay, so this is the command that we run in the VI editor to change a particular string with the other string in the complete file. Okay, so now you can see I have changed the binding address right? Everywhere. Now it is pointing to the IP address of my machine, right? And let me save it and exit. So what I have done, I have changed the standalone.xml, which is the default profile. If you are going to use any other profile for a standalone server, then make sure to change in the corresponding XML file. Okay. So now I have done the changes in the default XML file. So what I will do, I will quickly go to the bin directory. Okay. And I will run the command standalone.sh. Okay. So I'm not specifying any configuration file as of now. So it is going to take by default standalone.xml. Okay. So it will take some time to start your server, and once it is started, okay, then you can see the message here. Okay. So I'm getting some error message here. Okay. Which is something related with the installation channel. Okay, that's fine. We can ignore that one. Okay. So now here you can see the management interface listening on port, this one. Okay. So default port is the 9990. Okay. And then your IP address and then slash context. Okay. Whatever the context that you want. Okay. So you can see here admin console is listening on this particular URL. Right. So that means our server is standalone server is running, and we can able to access it, the admin console from the browser. So now because this machine, my machine is running on my AWS cloud. Okay. So to accessing the cloud machine, I need the public IP address. So I will take the public IP. Okay. I will go to the browser. So this is my public IP. The default port is 9990, and then console. Okay. So it is prompting for the username and password, right? So this is the zip installer, right? So what we have done, we have extracted the zip, but we have not created any user as of now, right? If you remember, we have not created any user. So what I will do, I will quickly open a duplicate session. I will log into my machine. Then I will go to my Jboss home. So I am using Jboss EAP. Then go inside the bin, and here you need to run the command add user.sh. Okay, so I have not added the Java home and path in my environmental file as of now. So I need to manually run it. Okay. So otherwise, what I will do, I will quickly change it my default profile. Okay, so that I don't need to enter it again and again. So I will go to bash profile, and here I will add, sorry, export Java home equal to U03 and then JDK, and then export path equal to dollar Java home, which is U03 slash JDK, and inside that directory bin, right? And then I will export the other path variables with this one. Okay, so I have done the changes in my profile. So I will, as of now, I will quickly run it manually. Otherwise, whenever you are going to log into your Jboss user, it will automatically run. Okay, so I have done the static changes as of now. So I need to run it manually. Okay, and you can run it with the source command as well. Okay, this is another command to run it. Okay, now if I check for the Java hyphen version, sorry. Okay, saying Java not command prompt. Let me see if it is reflecting the current path. Okay, echo dollar path. Oh, okay. So let me change it again. So I will go to the profile here. Okay. So my Java home is this one, and here I have mistake Java home. Right. So let me run it again. Source. Now if I check the Java hyphen version, it is set now. Right. So I am inside. So okay, I have to go to my Jboss EF and then bin. Right. So here I am going to run the command add user.sh. So we are going to create the management user. So we have a two different kind of a users, management and application users. So application is required at later time when you are going to do any kind of a operations with respect to some applications. So we need a management user, right, who can do the complete end-to-end management of your system of a Jboss instance from the admin console. For that, you have to select the option A, management user. Okay, then you need to provide the username. So let me give Jboss, and then the password. Let me give Jboss123. Okay, so are you sure on this user? Yes. Then again enter the same password. Okay, then just press enter. Then yes. Okay, so this will add your user in the management realm. Okay, that means this is a realm which give the privilege to do anything to this particular user when we add any user in the management realm, and with the option of A, which is management user. Okay, and here you can see what all the files that has been updated. So this is one of the file in the standalone configuration. This is the other file which is for the domain configuration. Okay, and this is the group properties file. So these four files are added, okay, for the user information. So either you are going to start your server in the standalone mode, or whether you are going to start in the domain mode. Okay, for both mode this user will be applicable. That means you can access the admin console for a standalone server or for a domain mode as well, with the help of same user which we have created here, right? So now let me go back quickly, go to browser. So here it is waiting for username and password. So let me enter the same that we have created. Okay, so now you can see the admin console has been loaded, right? So in the admin console, we have a different options, like we go for the deployment of applications, we go for the configuration of the different subsystems, we go for the runtime information of the server, right? So I will create a separate session for to give us some overview of the different options that we have in the admin console. Okay, so that you will get some familiar with this as well, admin console as well. Okay, how to do the different kind of a navigations, how and where we have to go for to do a different kind of a configuration. So now I will show you how you can start the Jboss instance using some different profile. Okay, but before that one, let me tell you. So this server instance I have started on the console, putty console, right? But I have not started in the background. Okay, so if I press Control C here, okay, the server will be down, right? So if you want to start your server in the background, okay, so that you when you close this particular console, okay, your server should not get down. Okay, this is a standard practice that we follow in the professional environments. Okay, so for that you can use the Linux nohub command, and then nohub, and then you can specify the command like standalone.sh and then ampersand. Okay, so this command going to start the Jboss in the background. So now you can see we are at the command prompt. Okay, but your Jboss instance has been started in the background, right? You can say this is the process. So by this way, your server will not get down. Even you close this putty session, or you can able to go to the prompt as well. Okay, so I will update this here as well. Okay, so I will make it here to start Jboss instance in the background. If you need this document, you can write to us at digitalk.fmw@gmail.com. Okay, so I will share a document with you as well, right? So this is to start in the background. Okay, so now suppose that we want to start with some different profile. So what I will do, I will quickly stop this one. So basically, I will kill this particular server process. So kill -9 process is the command that we use to process ID. Okay, and that I have given the process ID of my Jboss instance. So now it is killed. Okay, so now to start with some different profile. Okay, what is the option? We have to give the -server -config. Okay, and so let me tell you that option as well. Yeah, this is the command. Okay, here we are specifying the different profile. So let us start with the standalone -xa profile. Okay, but before starting this one, as I said, if you are going to use some different profile, make sure to change the IP address in that particular XML file, right? So for that, I need to go to the location where we have the configuration file. So standalone configuration, right? So I'm going to use this particular profile. So first I will open this one. Okay, and I am going to change 1 comma $s 127.0.0.1 slash this need to change with our IP address. So I will take the private IP address from here of my Linux machine. So if in your case, if this is not your cloud machine, then you can simply take the IP address of your machine and change it. Okay, so now IP address, I have changed the IP address in this particular file, right? So now I will go to the bin directory where we have the startup scripts. Okay, and I will quickly take the command from here. So again, I'm not starting in the background. Okay, I'm starting on the console only. Okay, so I have to give dot and then slash. So now this time it is going to take starting the server with the help of standalone hyphen exe profile. Okay, so now you can see the server has been started, and again the interface, you can see this is the interface, and the profile you can see at the last of the session of the logs as well. Okay, if you see the last line, standalone hyphen exe.xml, this is the profile or the server configuration file that has been used for starting this particular standalone server, right? So this we can validate in the logs as well. If you're not sure which profile or which configuration file, server configuration file has been used for starting the server, you can go to your log file and you can check in the log file as well, right? So again, you can go here and you can access your admin console. This is the previous session. Okay, now we can see we can able to access your admin console, right? And the navigation from the console, as I said, I will create a separate session for that one. Okay, where I will show you the some basics navigation that we follow in the admin console. Okay, if you are not familiar with the admin console of the Jboss, right? So similarly, we have a different profiles, other profiles. So whatever the profile that you want, change the IP address, okay, in the particular XML file, and then use this command to start your servers. Okay, if you don't want to change the IP address in the files, then we have one more options, like with this standalone. Okay, we can specify with the hyphen b and then hyphen b and management, 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 and then you can give any of the IP address or some specific IP address. You can specify on the command line as well. Okay, if you don't want to change in the in the XML file, but the recommended one is to make it consistent. You have to change in the XML file. That's why I have shown you that option, how to update in the XML file, right? So now hope it is clear to you how to stop your standalone servers using the different server configuration files, right? And how to add the management user and how to access the admin console.